What in the world should I be asking on a medical school interview? What are some things that I must need to know, like need to know basis to determine whether I really want to go here or not? Keep watching because I'm going to answer all those questions in this video. Hey y'all, welcome back to Made It to Medicine with Vix. That's me. I'm a second year medical student at the University of Illinois College of Medicine on the Chicago campus. When I was applying to medical school on the third time, I actually had enough wisdom, understanding to reach out to current medical students and ask them what drew them to their school. What were some things they wish they had known before actually saying that they would commit to attend that institution? So I came up with a brief list of some must-ask medical school interview questions. At the end of every interview, the interviewer, if it's a traditional interview, is going to ask, do you have any questions? Even sometimes on MMIs, multiple mini interviews, they will ask, do you have some questions? And of course, you want to ask some things that have not just been blanketly stated on the internet, on the school's website, because you want to show that you've done your research. But here's some things that I don't really think are on my school's website, but I probably should have had the answer to these questions before committing to come to my school. So I made a short list of things that I want you to ask during your interviews before you commit to school. Before we get into that, please, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, say hey down in the comments below, but let's get into it. Number one, what type of support does your school offer? And I'm talking not just academic support, social support, emotional, mental support. At my school, we have the Resiliency Center solely for medical schools. It's not connected to your MyChart. You can talk to licensed therapists and you get free sessions, but only 6 sessions. But in the event that you really need to continue, they're not going to just kick you out. But academic support, we have free peer tutoring. I learned that every school does not have free peer tutoring. The way I am a broke man student, and by broke, I mean living off of loans, balling on a budget that ain't even my own, I needed that type of support academically to help me thrive, reach my highest heights of greater greats. And I think that it's beneficial, or it's great, or it's amazing that we have that service. But the downside is these are my peers. These are students who have just taken the classes before me. They are not trained to be tutors. These are people who have performed well in the class. So if you do have a tutor that is not good for you, don't be afraid to get another one. Oh, this one is big. Are the exams graded or are they pass fail? How many exams are there per unit? How long on average is each unit, is each block? Like, coming into medical school, y'all, I had no idea. I think I knew that our classes were pass fail, but I didn't know what does pass fail mean? Is the pass rate the same for every exam? Does it change for exams? And yes, in my school, they change. One exam, you could need like a 62.5 to pass. The next exam, it could be a 55%. Like, you just do not know. And you can't really gauge it on the previous year because each year the passing average or passing rate seems to be a little bit higher. So like, is it pass fail? Do they grade the exams? What day of the week are the exams on? Like in my school, exams now they're on Thursdays, but we don't have class on Fridays. So you have an extended weekend after every single exam. Some schools have exams on Mondays and you start the very next unit on a Tuesday. For me, that's exhausting, that is tiring, and I can't do it. But these are things you need to know for your mental health in order to schedule your life outside of medical school. Some students go home after exams. Some students go on mini vacations after exams, but you want to know how or what you can do while you're doing it and while you study in the midst of all this chaos. And on top of our exams pass fail, is there some type of ranking system for your school? Do we start ranking on day one? How does this ranking even like go into fruition? Like, how do y'all account for ranking students? In my school, pass fail is the first 2 years, so there's no ranking. But once we get in the hospital, 3rd and 4th year, you will be ranked. It is, honestly, I have to tell you that once I know it completely, because I'm still like a little clueless on it, but I believe you can get honors, high pass, or pass for your rotations, and that will determine how you're ranking amongst your peers. And with ranking, there is an honor society called AOA, Alpha Omega Alpha, I believe. And this is super, I don't know, it's old, it's legacy, and it's highly regarded. People who get inducted into this honor society are typically at the top of their classes. They match well into great institutions, whether that's research or community, whatever institution they essentially want to go to, they're going to get it because they have this high honor, high regard, high value attached to their name. And that's something that I'm striving for. I heard of AOA before coming here, but it's almost like a secret society. Like, nobody really talks about it. And when we asked for information about it at my school, it was still kind of hush hush. So I don't really know how those who are not privileged get into it, like me, who don't really have people in my family who are doctors, or I mean, I have a few cousins, but like who come from not really knowing squat. I'm still trying to figure that out. But once I know, I will let you know the scoop on it, because why can't we all get in? I mean, of course we can't all get in because there are metrics and barriers preventing everyone to be a part of it, but I want to be a part of this secret society, right? Also, with the class being ranked, how do y'all do this ranking? Is it solely based off of exam scores? Is it extracurricular activities? Like, what is it? Tell me, let me know day one. Like, in orientation, I need to know. Actually, before orientation, this interview, I need to know, like, what is this? And like, going back to support, what does emotional support look like? Like, do you have an advisor that you can go to? Do you have a student affairs lead? Do you have a dean? Or is it only counselors? Like, what type of support? If I need to take a leave of absence, are there going to be lots of questions being asked about me? Or are you going to let me know if this is the best thing or the best decision for you in this moment, then take it? Are you going to try to coerce me or talk me out of it? Like, what does this support look like? And that type of question probably would be better for students. And in most schools, they'll have like a little social the night before the interviews where you can ask students any type of questions. And typically students don't report back to administration. They are pretty vulnerable or transparent with you, but don't ask no like crazy question, because I don't trust nobody. And then this one, big for me right now, how long is dedicated step 1 time? And on top of that, how long do you get to study for step 2? Because right now I am so unsure, and why didn't I think to ask? But like, how long is dedicated? What is dedicated? It's a time that is geared solely towards prepping or preparing for step 1. You're doing no classes, no anything other than studying for step 1. How much time does your school set aside for that allows you to pass? If you don't feel prepared during your dedicated time, is it frowned upon to defer a rotation, or are you encouraged to defer, or are you encouraged to sit for the exam just because your dedicated period has ended? What does it look like at your school, at the school that I'm interviewing at? What like, and even during dedicated, what type of support are you giving me? Because I can tell you right now, I'm stressed. I am so stressed out. And I was able to set up a Zoom call with one of the deans last Friday, and it made me feel so much better. I didn't know coming in that I was gonna have that support from her, but I did. And it was extremely helpful to talk to her on a Friday evening outside of regular business hours, because she actually cares about me, cares about supporting me, advocating for me, and actually said, like, let's check in a little bit more often. Will the school that you're applying to do that? And lastly, what type of exams does your school offer? Are they in-house exams? Are the professors writing them? Do they guide you towards passing step exams, board exams? Or are they NBME, National Board Medical Examiners? So that's what NBME stands for, which is just another standardized test, which kind of simulates the standards of step 1 or step 2, the board exams that you have to sit for, or COMLEX 1, COMLEX 2, which are the board exams for DO schools. What are we giving with these exams? Because I can tell you, for me, UICOM, our exams are in-house. They don't look nothing like step 1 studying. This is why my UWorld percentages are so low. I'm not used to answering questions that are this long, this detailed, reading this down like, oh, I know what this disease is, and then they ask me something completely different. No, our questions, I'm not trying to say that they were right their questions, because I did never get 100 on the exam, but studying for step 1 is 10 times harder than studying for any exam in medical school. And our endo repro exam was hard, but this is harder than that. But I think that in order to propel you academically and ensure that you are in a place where you will not just survive, but that you will thrive, these are some key questions that you must ask during your interview. But also check out my medical school interview playlist. I made some videos during my first year, but these are some questions that I've gathered or garnered throughout my first year and a half now of medical school that I kind of wish I had some answers to. It would have been nice, you know, to know these things ahead of time, but I don't. So I'm gonna make sure that you do. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, y'all.